Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the atmosphere change? Someone enters. Nobody says a word, yet somehow everyone notices. Maybe you've watched a coworker get promoted, even though you worked harder. Maybe you've seen someone win an argument without raising their voice. That's when you realize something. Talent alone isn't enough. Hard work isn't enough. Even honesty isn't enough. There is another force at work: power. Power isn't something that only existed in king's courts. It exists today, in every office, every friendship, every business, every negotiation. Most people pretend power doesn't matter. That's exactly why they lose. The people who understand power shape the decisions of everyone around them. Welcome to the complete breakdown of Robert Greene's masterpiece, The 48 Laws of Power. This is not a book summary. This is a practical guide to understanding how influence really works. Across this three-part series, we'll strip away the theory and focus on the psychology behind every law. In this first part, we'll explore the first 16 laws. These are the laws of survival, the laws that protect you before you ever begin to dominate. Law 1. Never outshine the master. People in positions of authority often care as much about status as they do about results. When you make your boss, your mentor, or even an influential client feel less important, they stop seeing your talent as an advantage. They begin seeing it as competition. Instead, make them feel respected. Share the spotlight. Give credit generously. Let them believe your success reflects well on them. Ironically, the less threatened they feel, the more opportunities they'll give you. Sometimes, the fastest way to rise is by making someone else feel taller. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Friendships are emotional. Business is practical. Success changes people. Someone who once celebrated your victories may quietly begin comparing themselves to you. Envy often grows between people who know each other well. Former rivals, however, usually have something to prove. They work harder because trust must be earned. This doesn't mean you should distrust everyone. It means judge people by their actions, not by your history with them. Loyalty should always be tested, not assumed. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Most people reveal their plans far too early. They announce new projects, future investments, career moves, big ambitions. The problem is, every person who knows your plan can influence it. Some will discourage you. Some will compete with you. Some will quietly prepare against you. Keep your long-term strategy private. Move quietly. Let your results be the announcement. When people can't predict your next move, they can't stop it. Uncertainty is one of the strongest forms of protection. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. People often believe that talking more makes them appear smarter. Usually, the opposite happens. The more you explain, the more opportunities you give others to challenge you. Confident people don't rush to fill silence. They listen. They observe. Then they speak only when their words matter. Silence creates curiosity. It also encourages others to reveal more than they intended. Sometimes the strongest statement is saying nothing at all. Law 5. Guard your reputation with your life. Before people trust you, they trust your reputation. Long before you enter the room, your name arrives first. Are you reliable, disciplined, creative, difficult? Every interaction either strengthens or weakens that reputation. Protect it carefully. One careless decision can undo years of consistent work. At the same time, remember, people often defeat themselves when their reputation begins to crumble. A strong reputation opens doors before you ever knock. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. The world rewards what it notices. Being talented isn't enough. People must also remember you. Develop your own identity, your own style, your own way of communicating. You don't need to be loud. You need to be memorable. Attention creates opportunity. Opportunity creates influence. And influence creates power. Being invisible is often more dangerous than being criticized. Law 7. Get others to do the work, but always take the credit. Every successful leader understands leverage. You only have so many hours in a single day. Trying to do everything yourself limits your growth. Build systems. Work with talented people. Delegate wisely. Focus your own energy on decisions, vision, and strategy. History rarely remembers every individual contributor. It remembers the person who brought everything together. Great leaders multiply effort instead of simply working harder. Law 8. Make other people come to you. The person who sets the terms usually controls the outcome. Instead of constantly chasing opportunities, create situations where opportunities begin chasing you. Become someone people want access to. Offer something valuable. Develop skills that are difficult to replace. Build a reputation that naturally attracts attention. Negotiation becomes much easier when the other person needs you more than you need them. The more they invest, the more leverage you gain. Real power comes from making others choose to approach you instead of desperately seeking their approval. Law 9. Win through actions, never through arguments. Very few people change their minds because they lost an argument. Most arguments only strengthen people's existing beliefs. When you try to prove someone wrong, they usually become defensive. Instead, show them. Let your results speak for you. Success is the strongest argument you can ever make. People believe what they experience, not what they are told. Quiet competence will always outperform loud opinions. The strongest person in the room rarely needs to announce that they're right. Law 10. Avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. Emotions spread far faster than most people realize. Spend enough time around people who constantly complain, make excuses, or blame the world, and eventually their mindset becomes your mindset. Negativity drains energy. Optimism creates momentum. This doesn't mean abandon people during difficult times. It means recognizing the difference between temporary hardship and permanent victimhood. Choose your environment wisely. Surround yourself with disciplined people, curious people, optimistic people, people who take responsibility. Success leaves clues. Failure does too. The people closest to you shape the future version of yourself. Choose carefully. Law 11. Keep people dependent on you. Influence grows when your value becomes difficult to replace. Develop expertise that few people possess. Solve problems that others cannot. Become known for one exceptional strength. The more unique your contribution, the more indispensable you become. This doesn't mean hoarding information or refusing to help others. It means continuing to grow so your value always stays ahead of everyone else's expectations. When people rely on your abilities, your independence grows with them. Law 12. Use selective honesty and selective generosity. People naturally lower their guard when someone appears genuine. A sincere compliment, an unexpected favor, a moment of honesty. These small actions build enormous trust. Once trust exists, communication becomes easier. People become more open, more cooperative, and more willing to consider your ideas. But remember, true influence isn't built through constant manipulation. It is built through carefully chosen moments that demonstrate authenticity. Sometimes, one genuine act creates more influence than 100 clever words. Law 13. Appeal to self-interest. Whenever someone hears a request, their first question is almost always, "What's in it for me?" Human nature is driven by incentives. Instead of reminding people how much you've helped them before, show them how helping you also benefits them. Create a win-win situation. Make the value obvious. When people clearly see their own reward, resistance almost disappears. People rarely move because of obligation. They move because they see opportunity. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. The best source of information is conversation. People enjoy talking about themselves, their ambitions, their frustrations, their fears. Most reveal far more than they ever intended, simply because someone listened. Ask thoughtful questions. Observe body language. Pay attention to what people avoid saying as much as what they actually say. Knowledge creates leverage. The more you understand people, the easier it becomes to predict their decisions, and the easier it becomes to influence them. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Half-finished conflicts often become bigger problems later. If someone repeatedly works against you, leaving the problem unresolved usually invites future attacks. Whether it's competition, a toxic relationship, or a destructive habit, deal with it completely. Remove the source, not just the symptoms. Small problems ignored for too long almost always become larger ones. Decisive action often prevents years of unnecessary conflict. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect. When something is always available, people naturally value it less. Scarcity creates appreciation. Constant attention can slowly reduce your impact. Sometimes the smartest move is to step back. Give people time to miss your presence, to appreciate your contribution, to remember your value. When you return, your influence often feels stronger than if you had never left. Absence, used wisely, creates anticipation, and anticipation creates respect. You now understand the first 16 laws of power. These are the foundations. They teach you how to protect yourself, how to strengthen your reputation, and how to understand the psychology behind influence. Remember, power isn't only about controlling others. It's also about controlling yourself, your emotions, your reactions, and the image you project to the world. Master these foundations, and you'll begin noticing how often they're already being used in everyday life. At work, in business, even in ordinary conversations. But this is only the beginning. In Part 2, we move beyond protection into strategy. We'll explore how to shape perception, control the available choices, and influence groups without them even realizing it. Once you understand those laws, you won't just recognize the game, you'll know how to play it.